Hi, this is Chatterboxing. I'm Sean, and I'm going to talk today about the Leo Santa Cruz Carl Frampton rematch taking place in Las Vegas, the 28th, I think, of January. Originally I was hoping that the rematch would take place in Ireland, in Belfast. I thought that would be the obvious place for it, being that the first fight was in America. I thought it was only fair that the rematch be in Belfast. Um, Especially as Carl Frampton won the fight. But, it's not. Leo Santa Cruz, after the first fight, he was kind of whinging a little bit about the crowd, even though it was in America and all the fans that were making the noise had travelled across the Atlantic to go over there. He was saying, "Oh, I think the fans have influenced the judges, and that's why I lost." And to be honest with you, I kind of let him off that because I thought, he just lost his unbeaten record. He's just been in a tough fight. It's a sort of spur of the moment, you know, emotions running high. Can't be too hard on him for that. As it progressed a little bit, the situation, I was hoping that the fight would take place in Belfast. I didn't think Santa Cruz would be up for that, bearing in mind that he was, I don't know whether you could say intimidated, put off, definitely affected by the Irish crowd in America. So if he thought that was loud, then he'd have a heart attack, I think, when he went to Belfast. So I didn't really expect him to want to do that. Having said that, I can't really be too hard on him either on this one because, to be honest with you, they're both managed by Al Heyman. There's been a lot of stuff recently in the news, people talking about the PBC, saying it's not going too well at the moment, they've spent too much money, blah, blah, blah. Santa Cruz Carl Frampton was one of the few examples because there has been a lot of inactivity. There haven't been that many. There's been some good. There's been obvious ones like Thurman Porter, a few others, but Santa Cruz Frampton was one of the highlights of it. So it's no real surprise that Al Heyman would want to keep that in America, this rematch. So yeah, I mean, it's in Las Vegas at the end of the day. Can't really complain about that. Las Vegas is an iconic boxing city, and I'm sure Carl Frampton has no complaints about boxing in Las Vegas. I imagine it's probably something that he's always wanted to do. So yeah, it is what it is. It's going to take place in Las Vegas. In terms of how it's going to go, I don't really see how Leo Santa Cruz can do anything better than he did the first time. Before the first fight, I picked Carl Frampton to win. Pretty much everyone else picked Leo Santa Cruz to win. I thought that Frampton was just a lot more skillful than him, to be honest. And I thought that his kind of versatility, his control of distance, and his punching power would be enough to, between them, the combination of basically confusing Leo Santa Cruz, just adapting, mixing it up, and also just hitting him hard enough to stop his just kind of relentless push forward that he's known for. So that kind of happened in the first fight. It was a close fight, don't get me wrong. I think Frampton won it quite clearly. And by clearly, I don't mean that he sort of dominated the fight. There was a clear winner, in my opinion. Boxing's obviously subjective. I know some people had Santa Cruz winning the fight. I can't see that myself, but, I do acknowledge that it was close, so, people could see it like that. But I think that Santa Cruz, in the first, he basically came out very one-dimensional, just coming straight forward, like straight hand, left, like double jab, straight right hand, just straight lines back and forward. It was very easy for Frampton with his quick feet and just like changing up the angles, just move around, counter him, hit him hard, and then like push him back when he needed to. And for the first few rounds, he was just sort of outboxing him, but hitting him with harder punches as well. And that kind of, the combination of the confusion for Leo Santa Cruz and his reluctance to just get smashed in the face when he did make a mistake kind of slowed him down a little bit. Frampton also got in there close and just took it to him, went toe to toe and kind of beat him there as well. That was kind of a lot more close, the sort of toe to toe battles. Al as the fight went on, towards the end of it, Leo Santa Cruz started to mix it up a little bit more. I think Frampton kind of slowed down a bit. And Santa Cruz, he started boxing a bit better on the inside. He started kind of pivoting around, like getting in with some good shots, rather than just come straight forward, boom, 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 straight punches like what he was doing at the start. So towards the end of the fight, it started to kind of even up a little bit. Frampton was won, but not the second half, but I'd say like if it was an American football match, like the final quarter of the fight, I would have given to Santa Cruz slightly, not by a lot, but slightly. So in the rematch, I think that I don't really see like Santa Cruz. What's he going to do differently? I see it being a close fight again. I see it being a good fight. Their styles, they're both. Carl Frampton still doesn't want to lose, obviously. Leo Santa Cruz wants to avenge the loss. So I think that Leo Santa Cruz is going to basically do what he did last time. I think he's going to come in. It's not that easy for. He's not just going to be able to just steamroll Carl Frampton. First of all, he doesn't have the skill to do that. And secondly, Carl Frampton hits pretty hard. So I'm slightly less tentative, possibly, for the first couple of rounds, but I still see Carl Frampton winning the early rounds. And I see possibly Carl Frampton in this, hopefully in this half, having slightly better fitness in the final third of the fight, the final quarter of the fight. This is another thing. I see that Carl Frampton for this fight can get better. I don't really see how Santa Cruz can. I think that was his first fight at this weight. Now he's had a bit more time to adjust to it, a bit more time to, carrying that sort of weight around. It's not a big increase in weight, but it does make a slight difference. And now he's had that bit more time to get accustomed to it. I think that's going to work in his favour. I think he knows what Santa Cruz can do. I think he knows Santa Cruz is obviously a volume puncher. He's quite strong. He's got like a reach advantage, but it doesn't really matter because Carl Frampton's got such good timing and such quick feet, and he's so awkward in terms of like the angles that he's coming in from that he's never really. I didn't see it as being an advantage for Leo Santa Cruz in the first fight, and I certainly don't see it being an advantage in this fight. Carl Frampton has fought people taller than him with better reach pretty much his whole career, and it's never been a problem. So, I don't see that as being an advantage. Santa Cruz possibly has a slightly better engine. Well, he probably does have a better engine, but that didn't really make that much difference in the first fight. So I don't see it making a big difference in this fight. I think it's gonna be similar, but I think Carl Frampton's gonna be a little bit stronger, have a little bit more energy, and I think he's gonna win on points again. But I think this time it's gonna be a bit more convincing. I see it being a close-ish fight, but not as close as the first one. I think Carl Frampton, because I don't remember exactly what they were, but a couple of the scorecards were quite wide from what I can remember. I don't have it here, but I remember thinking it was closer, the fight, than a couple of the judges had it, or at least one of the judges had. I think one of them had it a draw, if I remember rightly. But this fight, Carl Frampton win again, in my opinion, unanimous decision, and more convincingly. Could he stop him? Possibly. I don't think so. I mean, I thought it was possible last time. I didn't think he could, but I thought it was possible. This time, same thing. I think most likely Carl Frampton win, unanimous decision, possibly stop him. And that's my prediction for it. In terms of the fans, I think Leo Santa Cruz, I don't know how he's going to react. If Carl Frampton brings out like a massive load of fans, he's not going to bring out like a Ricky Hatton style, I don't think, but he could bring out serious numbers. And I'm telling you now, if the Irish have got 25% of the crowd, they're going to make much more noise. Trust me on that. If they've got 25% of them, they'll make much more noise. If they have more than 25%, then it's going to sound like, as Barry McGuigan, it's sound like Belfast on there, mate. That's probably what it will sound like. So, I don't know how Leo Santa Cruz is going to react to that. I don't know if he's going to complain about the airports being open and giving Carl Frampton an unfair advantage. We'll see. But definitely looking forward to the fight. And Carl Frampton to win again on points. Thank you very much for watching.